traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we have these webinars daily so that others can learn in the live market. They can learn order flow. We have an educational course that goes through order flow. It's on our YouTube channel. I'll show you where that is, and then you can apply what you've learned in these live analysis webinars and live trading webinars. Tomorrow we'll have Jay Trader, stocks trader, go through his way of trading, and Scott Pulcini on Thursday go through his way of trading, who's a futures trader. You may have heard of these educators. Let's get started here and go through the disclosures and then jump right into the market, and let me know what markets you guys are interested in looking at. The general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so everyone can hear me well in Discord, our Discord chat room. If you could just bat a yes in there. Looks like I'm okay. And also in YouTube, looks like we're good. Okay. All right. So let's get going here. All right, let's take a look at this S&P. This is typically what we start with. And we can look at anything, though, whatever you guys like. Thanks, John NY Polls, or June NY Polls. All right, let's take a look. Interesting order flow immediately to take a look at here. It's kind of all over the place. We can see the pre-market here and this is around just before 5 a.m. And then the breakout, beautiful breakout here. So let's just start to mark up some structure in here and what you're looking at in Bookmap. Okay, so we have a structure here. We have high liquidity down here. It was pulled at the last minute, just before it traded into it here. Well, minutes before it traded into this 35.85 area. And then we see the buyers come in here. Here's the shift right here. And then here's the breakout right here. And then here's the follow through of the buying. Okay, this is beautiful stuff. Beautiful buying all the way through. But look at the outcome here at the cash open or after 9:30. Okay, well, after the move up in 8:45 or so, we see the move back down, and we can see these structures that way I just outlined in here. We can start to look at order flow events around these areas. Okay, so right here, okay, note the pullback here and the continuation. Note here, okay, the top of the structure. Note the bouncing around here. Note underneath here as well, under these structures. Okay, note the pullback and the follow through, or follow through, pullback, and then follow through again down to these levels here. Now this one's an interesting one. Yeah, there is some action around this level as well. It's a little more harder to kind of see. But this was more of a point of control and just bashing around in this area, trying to figure out which direction it was going to go. And then we did get follow through below it here. Look at the pullback to it again here, just below the figure here at 3,600. And this is pretty critical number here, 3,600. And then we can see also down here the move back down this pre-market area here at 35.85. So we've already marked up our structure, right? This is really important to understand in here. It makes up your volume profiles, okay, which can make up your strategies if you're a volume profile trader. But this is where we want to get into the details in the order flow and understand and get insights here. By reading the order flow, it provides an edge. Okay, when we understand the condition of the orders and the participants here, this is where we can get insights to where price might move next. And we will do that in this webinar. It is forward-looking, right, to go through the where price might be going. Good morning, 8th Trader. All right, so let's take a look here. Okay, so anyway, majority still selling, but a lot of buying starting to come in, some back and forth in here. Let's take also a look at the bigger picture here. We just marked up our structure for the day and the order flow. I want to look at a little bit more though. We can also see down here this high liquidity here and high liquidity down here at 80 and 75. And we can zoom vertically. We see tons down here as well. This is to be expected at 35.50. Okay, so a lot of buyers down there. Okay. And yeah, bigger picture. Hold on a minute. I'm going to jump over to the candlestick chart here. Daily on the left, in the center here we have the 1 hour, and then on the right the 15-minute chart. Okay, this is the gap from the weekend here. Here's the gap from today, and you can see the dramatic move below. Where are we here in the bigger picture? Well, here's the daily over here. Still haven't tested these lows below 3,600, but looks well on this day it looks pretty destined to do that. We're already down here at 89. We're looking for a move lower down to like 35.75 or below, basically. All right, so hourly chart, yeah, strong move to the downside here. This is all cash open, and that's why we have the gaps in here. So there's no overnight sessions or Globex sessions in here. Okay, this is only cash sessions in my rhythmic R trader here. So yeah, just trying to gain some insight in here. We know that this is a strong move to the downside, and the gap and the move away. We should find some covering, some buying in here below the swing. Knock some stops out, maybe get some people to say, well, I'm going to sell below the swing, and then maybe have them feel some pain as it moves back up to the figure here and retest 3,600. Okay, maybe a little bit higher as well, maybe back up to about here, or maybe we might even get a gap fill, back up into 36.16, and the gap fill would be around 23 or so up here. Right, so just some scenarios we're going to outline here. And what this might look like in the order flow. Else, if we see that selling pressure continue, we're looking for the figure or the half figure down at 35.50. Okay, so right now, well, let's take a look at it. Well, we're still bearish here, even though we see all this buying in here right now, and we see a wall of liquidity down here. Okay, they're bidding up. This is bullish here. Basically, now we need to see that they stay in the order book. So let's see if they do that. Okay, this is where we really get some insight in order flow. See how they're staying in the order book? See how the sellers just took them on. All right. Hold on a minute here. Let me deselect something. There we go. Okay. See how they stayed in here. See how they traded. High liquidity. Let's just use this here, this tool. High liquidity here. We had, more than 200 contracts here. They traded. Look at the reaction after it. After the order flow event here, this is where you can get some insight. What happened after the order flow event? Well, we found buyers. Okay, they traded into these buyers on the bid, the sellers did, and then buyers came streaming in right away. Now, we know that. Now we're looking at, and that's the kind of smaller time frame event. Okay, we also see some icebergs purchased in there as well. Okay, now that's the smaller time frame event. Okay, the higher time frame event that we want to take a look at is the structure, and the structure is really important because it's a little bit bigger picture here. The structure is here. Okay, there's also this swing and this swing up here. All right, this is where the market has traded back and forth. Okay, now look at this here. Buying down here, sellers into the high liquidity, they stayed in the book, they got filled. Buyers reacted top of the range, retest down here, no sellers. Now we're looking for buyers up here. Okay, let's see if we get enough buyers. Then we're looking for a retest to here, 87 and 88. Here they come, looking for that move to unfold here. Now, why do we think that? Okay, we have also on the bid here, look at 84. See, they come in here on the bid. Okay, so now this is a classic pattern here in the order flow to take a look at. Right, and look at the strong move after this. Let's zoom out and see where else it might be going. Okay, up here, this is a great area to take some profit, but look for a continuation potentially. But at 90 right here, why? Because look at the drop here, or you can see the structure, high liquidity filled here at 90, back and forth, and then it dropped. Okay, so we want to look for a test back to here. The next area would be right here, 93. Let's mark it up. Okay, or 93 and a half or so, something like that. All right, so and you can see in the profiles here, it makes sense as well. You can see, like, you don't, I mean, I'm looking at profiles here, but you don't have to. In essence, if you're looking at these levels in here, you know, just I'm trying to get people to, or trying to explain what, it's the order flow here that makes up the profile, and this is the order flow that we're looking at in here, not the aggregation of it all here. We don't have to look at that. We can just look at some of these areas in here. Right, and you can see that's kind of a low volume node in here, so that's where we're looking for it to test up here and then maybe reject. Okay, so here's our pullback. Now we're looking for the follow through. Okay, this is like a bull flag here, looking for buyers to take it up to 94, 93 and a half, 94. Okay, now so let's go through the anatomy here, why we thought this was going to unfold here. Okay, it happened because of this event here. Okay, well, first off, it's multiple events in here. First off, we noticed a bunch of buying. Right, we saw the buying coming in here, and we can see that the green dots, the size of them and the amount of them. So we know that there's buyers coming in. We know that they bid up here in the order book too. We mentioned that. This is bullish. That if they, and what really made it bullish was that they stayed in the order book and they did get filled here. Okay, so now that's just fact. We know that. Now what we had, and we saw the reaction to this, was buyers. So this was the order flow event. We saw the buyers come in, and they tested high of the range here. Price came back down to this area here where that order flow event took place. Now look at it visually. Do you see a lot of sellers here like previously? No. In fact, you start to see some buyers come in here. Okay, so at this point, it is more likely we'll trade back up into the top of the range here. Okay, in the order flow event, and then we have the potential for the breakout. Okay, and then we covered that once we saw that. So back up to the top of the range, and then the breakout here and the continuation, that's when we outlined 80, or down here we outlined 87 and 88 as potential levels, just to begin with, because of the swings here. Right, because of the previous transactions in the order flow. Now look what's happened here. We got continuation. Our 93 and a half or 94 already transacted. Okay, and it still looks like it wants to go back up and test the figure here. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on this, understanding the structure and where price might go and why we drew up these levels in here. Okay, and then the order flow event that kind of kicked things off. There's a multiple events in here, but really we can kind of single out this event down here. But to single out this event and this retest here, We also need something more to lean on, and we can, because they're bidding up in the book here, and we knew that was bullish, and we saw a lot of buying come in. Okay, so we had this in our back pocket as kind of a little bit of leverage or understanding that this event or this move could potentially take place. Okay, it's more probable. And then we had this beautiful, like, this is basically a double bottom type of event here, even though it is within the range. It tested the bottom of the range here. We see it in a double bottom pattern all the time. Into high liquidity, buyers come right back in, and we knew there were previous buyers here as well. No sellers down here on the retest. Buyers coming back in, looking for a test back up to the top of the range, and the potential for the breakout to test these other previous areas. Okay, so I just reviewed it, and we went through that whole event here. Guys, let me know if you have any questions, because once you start to see these events, you can take advantage of them. Now, what happened after the event? This is also important to understand. Look at this swing up here. Okay, and see the selling when it came in and moved the price lower. Okay, we can take this event and this swing here, and we can draw it across. We can draw this one as well. Okay, but it's really this one that mattered. Why? Because look at the pullback to it. Okay, and we noted that was a low volume area. It could have pulled back a little bit more. It could have pulled back here. It didn't. And then we and this is a little harder read in here, because we see a strong move. Sellers come in though, buyers come back in, sellers come back in, but this is a flag pattern. We know the strong move and all the buying behind it here. If we can get this continuation here, if we get our buyers back up at this top of the range, we have pretty good a likelihood that we can get this continuation. All right, back up into our level, which we said was 93.5. We came up a little bit higher here. Okay, we went up back to this kind of high volume node up here, and transact up into these areas, previous levels up here, previous areas. Okay, now it's selling right back off. All right, so this is why, like, we're looking for this move here, and this flag pattern and this continuation, etc., just for this smaller move here, but the bigger picture is still a downtrend. All right, so we're putting all of this into context here, and I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys to try to explain this, and I hope it's resonating. Let me take a look over here at some of the questions. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh boy, Valhalla, here we come. Can I put stops on the chart itself? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you know, you can there's full functionality in terms of trading. You have to have Global Plus for that though. The VPOC is bearish. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it just traded up to, guys, it's a beautiful move to the high volume node here. I mean, you know, look, this is, we covered this yesterday about VPOC, the volume, or the point of control here, and that this is just the most traded level. Okay, and we're looking for a retest back up into that area. Now watch this here. This might be the developing point of control, and this, everything might shift down here to this area, and it might even shift down to this area here if we can get back down and trade here again. All right, and we can look at this here, and we can see a trending market. Well, kind of moves to the upside here, but then you see the trending VPOC to the downside here. Okay, so let me continue on here. Okay, you're looking at your Althani, you're looking at your options levels and puts, etc. Okay, good stuff. How do you put it into a plan in if-then context or syntax? Okay, well, the plan here is, and this will work on all time frames, is again noticing you can look at bigger trend if you want, right? But this range in here, this could be on a daily or a monthly chart, right? So let's just jump back to our higher time frame here. Okay, so we covered it here that, well, what are we looking for on our daily chart? Well, probably most likely continuation to the downside in the daily chart, right? Look at these strong days to the downside. And then on this time frame in the hourly chart, yeah, pretty strong hourly candle here. But we can see this is kind of a doji, maybe a pause in this downtrend right now. On the 15-minute, though, we're looking for potential pullbacks to maybe 3,600. It looks like a good level, maybe a little bit higher, maybe kind of 06, 05, 06 level. And it could come up even to these areas here, right? Yeah, we're just kind of outlining some areas in here. Now, if we get the bigger picture move on even the 15-minute chart, well, then you'd be looking for the move back down into these lows here. All we have is a wick here to take a look at. Okay, now the bigger picture, and it's a really good question. I'm really glad that you added it or asked it. So we have a move back to the most traded level. Okay. And if this is the pullback you're looking for, okay, well, then you need to start to look at some of the structure in here, okay, and then this move already unfolded. This flag pattern basically completed, right? So now you're looking for some sellers in here in the bigger picture. I don't see them yet. I mean, we see this move here, okay, but look at the buying starting to come right back in. There's still quite a bit of buying in here, okay. So your bigger picture, you're doing nothing right now, okay, if you're looking for continuation to the downside. In fact, maybe you're looking for a retest back up in some of these areas before you want to get short, okay. Now, that said, we're going to cover the smaller picture here and how to put this into a plan. This is your pullback. This is the buying coming back in. This is your breakout. This is where you can get in, trade it back up to here or here, right back to our 94 level, and take some profit. Now hold and wait for continuation. All right. Now the if-then demo trader is kind of like I don't really sometimes I say if-then as well, but this is not programming. This is about the context, and there might be a kind of multiple ifs and thens is the answer. It's not binary. If this happens, then this will happen. We can kind of look at it down here and go through that process here. Now again, this we saw unfold on a higher time or lower time frame here. This can happen on a higher time frame. This could be an hourly chart. This could be a daily chart. It could be a monthly chart. It is all the same. It is fractal. Okay, and then what we're talking about in here is the market mechanics. Okay, how the market actually operates, how it unfolds. Understanding this will give you the edge. So we went through it here. We noted even before this move took place, there was a lot of buying coming in. Okay, we noted also this liquidity in here is front running this level at 80, right? And that's bullish. Now, it's only bullish if they stay in the order book. And they did. And we noted that right here. So now, what do we have? So the if is multiple. If we have liquidity here, lots of buyers starting to come in here, okay, and liquidity, let's just even start here. Liquidity getting filled on the way down at multiple areas. It means buyers are getting involved into the market. Maybe they're covering, maybe they're buying for entry. Doesn't matter. We just know that they're getting filled here. That should start to absorb some of the selling pressure. Okay. Now, they didn't even test 80, and we see buyers come streaming in. Pretty strong buying. Okay, we get a pullback. We made actually a higher low in here. And we broke this structure here, so we actually made a higher high in here as well. Right? So I didn't mention that earlier, but this is part of the if. We're still in the if category. There are multiple ifs. We're putting the pieces together in here. We came back down and we noted this high liquidity that was in front of the 80 level, and they got filled. And we noted the reaction to that as well. And we noted, now this is where we get into the entry part of the if. Okay, and really starting to see an edge here is we had no sellers down here. Okay, now it might come back up and it might retest here. It might, you might see seller, they can't make a higher high. We saw this yesterday. Maybe we see sellers come in here and then they'll drop it lower. If we get our buyers in here though, after going through all of these other ifs, and we see that buying pressure coming again, likely it's going to trade to the top of the range in some of these other areas. So look for, it depends on this. This is where the if part, well, let's just cover we'll cover the ifs, and then we'll talk about the entry and the management next. Okay, this is how you're putting it into a plan though. So we see the no selling down here, slightly higher low in here, and then we're looking at the point of control or most traded level in here. We're looking to see if we can get buyers to at least trade up to here, right up to here. Okay, 85. You could take some profit. I know that's a pretty small scalp, but just because of this down here and this buying coming in here, I'd be looking for at least the top of the range. And this looks really good due to all of the previous ifs we just talked about, that will get the continuation to 87 and 88. Take some off, look for the continuation. Where's the next level you want to take some off? And we look at the taking profit up here at 94 due to our price level here that we identified, sellers coming in and dropping the market, and this little swing here. Okay, and it just so happened to match up here, and it's because of the way the structure is here, but it matches up with a low volume node. Okay, now it went a little bit higher and retested the high volume node, and then it sold off. Okay, and then here we go. Now we've gone. Well, does that make sense? Did I go through the ifs for you? Okay, and then the then part is like the targets. If these things unfold, then we're looking for these targets to hit. Okay, here, and here. All right, so there's your plan. There's your pattern. Here's your order flow pattern. Okay, not just market structure pattern, your order flow pattern, and that's an edge. Okay, now trade management. This depends on your risk profile. All sorts of ways to get involved in here. If you see this immediately and you start to see buyers come in, you can get in here. Just note that no matter what you do, you're taking risk always. When you take a trade, you cannot avoid taking risk. Okay, what is the risk here? Well, you got a great entry, but maybe this fails immediately. So how do you want to manage that? Well, maybe you want to take your stop immediately. Okay, take a small loss. All right, another way is like you look for maybe a little more confirmation. Maybe you get in here. What's the risk? Well, the risk is you're getting in at a later area, and you're not going to get as much profit here out of it. But you also are looking more for this continuation move. Okay, because you have a little more confirmation in here. Okay, you could get in here, on the breakout of this, when you see that strong volume starting to come in, what is your risk up here? Well, maybe this is a failed breakout and it comes right back down. Okay. Another one is what you can look for a pullback to the top of this range, or maybe even here. Let's go with this one, or even this one down here. You're looking for a pullback. What's your risk? Well, your risk is you're not going to get filled. Okay, you're just sitting here and you watch this unfold. Okay, so if that's okay with you, then but you're looking to get in here, then that's fine. Even if you got in, you know, look at our level in here. It looks like you would have gotten filled here, right? But maybe not. Looks like you would have been, yeah, here at 88, you would have gotten filled, okay, on the retest. Right, and then yeah, look to take it back up to maybe the top of the range at 91.5 or 92, something like that. Take a little off. Okay, there's your pullback entry and trade management strategy. Placing your stop down below certain areas, and placing your take profits above certain areas. Okay, due to the market structure that we are looking at in the order flow here. All right, so how's that? Any comments, guys, on that? Love to get your feedback here. Is it clear? We can just go through. I mean, we can go over this again and again and again today if you like. If you find that helpful, you know, and really kind of define. You know, all of these chain of events in here, the ifs. Under the ifs, there's like 4 or 5 things that led to a higher probability move. We put the pieces together, and then we had in our trading plan here, or what we outlined is like, okay, we're looking for that. We're looking for getting involved in somewhere around in this area here for this risk profile, and then trading it up to the top of the range, taking some off, moving your stop to break even, and then taking your other profit up here around your 93.5 area. Sure, we can go through it again. Okay. No, it's a really great question, and you know, I think what we may do like a webinar series on this, you know, maybe in the afternoon or something, and you know, I think it will really help outline and help you guys build a trading plan. Okay. Now, one thing that I also want to really emphasize here in your plan is about the market structure. So let me show you here. If you go to bookmap.com. Oh, guys, we have Patrick Wayland, he'll be streaming with us. We have a webinar event with him at 3 p.m. Today. Okay, so looks like, I don't know, why is it live right now? It should not be live right now. Okay, Tom is next. Okay, sorry guys, we'll have to take a look into that. So my bad on that. Anyway, what I wanted to show was this here. Go to our YouTube channel, scroll down a little bit, and then go here. Bookmap educational course, click on view full playlist. Watch parts 1 and 2. Okay, to go through exactly what we just went through. And understand the market mechanics, okay, basic market mechanics, that's the title here. And educational course part 1, okay, trading order flow. And understand the basic market mechanics here, and put this into a structure for trading. The bigger structure here from volume, it says volume profile here in microstructure, but we talk more about structure in here. And it's just, all it is taking this here, Okay, this kind of understanding of this order flow, binary kind of order flow event down here, and then this retest here, and then putting this into a bigger structure, because this is the event here. This is the trigger of looking for something in here. Okay, that gives us some insight. But now we look at the bigger, a little bit bigger picture in the structure. Okay, for this trade event here. Okay, now it's not a trade recommendation, or we're not outlining one particular way of trading. This is just an example. All right, and you could put this into your trading plan though, and look for this every time. Okay, look for that retest back down here, and no one's selling down here, very little. Anyway, it was the structure though that really helped us here. So part one of the course talks about, like, this kind of activity down here. They're getting filled. We're looking for sellers or buyers to come in. If the sellers cannot pressure it more, this is where in the micro kind of structure, and it's not truly microstructure, but you guys get the idea. It's lower time, very low time frame. We're looking at seconds in here. Microstructure is defined as sub-second. All right, let's just get that definition out there, and see how you can even, this is where your risk profile, you'd have to be zoomed in here to look for this, and you see this kind of come in like this, and then look at how they flip in the order book even in here. Okay, this is telling you all sorts of things when you zoom in. We have an iceberg also right here getting filled, and then they're kind of getting filled in here, but kind of pull, and then they flip onto the bid, and it's followed by nothing by buyers. Okay, so that's good. You could trade that one if you want to back up to point of control, okay, which would be, okay, the structure here previously. Maybe you trade back up to about here, 85. Okay, maybe you'd look for maybe top of the range here. Okay, maybe you trade it just to here. Remember how we were looking at the bigger picture? Just trade it up to here. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe you're hyper scalping and you're looking for these little events in here, and like looking for like a high probability 1 or 2 points. I don't know. Maybe you're looking for a bigger picture. These are the ifs you're going to have to answer for yourself. Once you've done that, what's your trading kind of style? Then we can go through more on outlining the trading plans. Okay, so anyway, the point I wanted to get at was the webinar structure in here. I'm sorry, the structure in here on this kind of smaller time frame, but how this helped add to this event. And then this was the smaller event in here, and that fits very nicely with our basic market mechanics, and then the structure webinar here. Okay, so watch those two and put the pieces together. I think you'll find it helpful. I'll put this into the chat for you. Okay, here you go. There's the playlist. And okay, the different POC that you might be getting, yeah, I'll explain that. Bmont. Hold on a minute. And Tony C, how do you draw the rectangles? It's up here under the pencil tool, drawing tools. Just click on it, and you got the drop down and select rectangle. Okay, and then if you want to edit it, you click on it here, or right click on it and go into edit mode, or edit this drawing only. Okay, and then to escape edit mode, it's kind of funny. Like once you're in edit mode here, you see the red rectangle around it. You have to come back up here and say none, or just hit escape and you'll get out of this mode here. Okay, so that's just a quick way to get out. Okay, guys, so let's continue on here, and let's see if what the current market is doing. Wow, okay, so this has turned into a bigger move here. Okay, beautiful move. We're above the figure at 3,600. Okay, and we still see strong buying here. All right, so this is turned into a nice move, a nice continuation move. Let's just take a look at. There's a few more things I want to mention here that I think are important. Remember, we talked about the pullbacks to here and also here potentially. Well, that happened after we talked about it. Okay, it actually came back down a little bit lower here at 85. Okay, so if you're a pullback trader and you're looking for that bigger move, I mean, boy, it's not my trading plan. I don't feel comfortable about doing that and getting filled in here. I really don't. I've been run over too many times. It's not my plan. My plan is to get involved in here when I know the volume is coming in and I try to take it up here. However, I understand pullback traders and what you're looking for. I don't like seeing this lower high in here and more selling coming in. Like I said, I've just been run over too many times. However, you could get involved in here, okay, on a pullback, because you're leaning on all of this strong buying in here. Okay, and there's still strong buying in here. This just might be the fuel to the fire, to the move to the downside and the stop run to the downside into 80, 75, and maybe 50. Okay, so I'm not comfortable doing it, but we can go over pullback strategies in here as well. Okay, I don't like the whole if-then part, or the lists of ifs in here in this example. Okay, this lower high in here and this lower low does not bode well for me. Okay, maybe you like it, and maybe you're looking for these sellers to be the fuel to the fire to the upside. Okay, these guys in here. Okay, because you do have some order flow events in here that could lead to that continuation move to the upside. No question about it. In fact, it's right in front of us. Okay, this again talks about that market structure that we talked about. Here's the move down into high liquidity yet again here at 85, and yet again here at 85. Okay, now there is selling here, but there's also liquidity here, and they're getting filled, and they're still bidding up here, and we're finding buyers. Okay, now this is on a smaller time frame, and look at the pullback here. Okay, it comes to where these guys bought right here. So this is trapped sellers here at this point. Okay, and we'd probably get some stop runs to the upside, and you can see them in here. Stop run up here, stop run up here, and another one up there. Okay, so we can put those pieces together. Like I said, it's not the move I'm looking for, but we can outline a potential trade opportunity out of this. Not a trade recommendation, but a potential trade opportunity for you pullback traders and what you're looking for. Okay, now this would start on a smaller time frame, but it is a higher time frame look here. You're looking for your pullback into some of these areas, and maybe it goes against you for a bit, and then you're looking for those buyers to come in. Again, it makes me uncomfortable, but you can narrow it down too, and really look at some of the market mechanics on these smaller time frames in here to give you this insight. Okay, so for example, the move down, and here we go. We have sellers into high liquidity here and here. We have buyers break the structure. We're not out of the woods yet. Okay, we still have some structure here. Okay, and here, but we note the buyers coming in. Here's our pullback, and then note the strong buying coming in. Okay, this is really important to note. Now look at the order book to support that. Okay, we talk about this all the time, and it's kind of painful, like in the live market, because we're always looking for them to support it on the bid. And most of the time we're just waiting and watching. We don't see it, and we don't like it, because then sellers can easily whip it right back down to 85 here. Okay, now we got look at the support in here and look at the reaction. Okay, so I'm interested in buy side here. Okay, more support here. They're getting filled. Okay, this is another pullback trade in here. Okay, and basically you're looking for maybe a pullback to here or to here, or it could even pull back to here again. Okay, in this case it just went below the swing here, and then you see the buyers come back in. Okay, and again we can look at this area here, okay, and this structure. Okay, getting filled here. Oops, sorry, getting filled here, and it goes lower. And look at the buyers come back in above this area in here. Now, not so good. They're in here. It's not so good though. Up here it looks pretty good. Okay, and then we get the follow through, because we already know that it traded up here, and we're getting a buyers yet again up here. And that's where we're looking for the continuation. Okay. Oh, thanks, ProK. This is a good examples to go through. Yeah, I think so. The pullbacks. You know, what are the if thens on the pullbacks? Well, it's a little more. I find the pullbacks a little more kind of leap of faith. In essence, there is one thing you are leaning on the pullbacks, and that is the previous strong move and who's in control in the transactions, okay, by the buyers. So that does make it easier because you're looking for a continuation of the directional trade. You're just looking for these areas where it might pull back, and that's where it may leave you hanging. You know, maybe you're looking for a pullback to here, or you know, if you're looking for a pullback below this little swing in here, you got in. Okay, it did fill you. Okay, and it went against you a little bit. Okay, or if you're looking for the pullback to unfold, but you're looking for the buyers to come right back in, now you have, these are the ifs where it will confirm that for you looking for your continuation. All right, and now does that make sense to, you know, to go through a plan and articulate this plan for you guys, because yeah, I hope it's clear. Let me go through the questions here. I know you guys requested already to go through it again. Let's look a little more. I think one of the things that I think is confusing is we're also looking at the structure developing. Whereas it would be really nice if the structure was already developed and we've outlined it, and then we're looking for the scenarios and the ifs to unfold. Now it has to be multiple ifs. That's where, like, it's not just if then. If it's like that, it's then you're going to get a more likely you're going to have a loss. You know, that's why I want to go through multiple ifs that will give you that edge. You know, if you have more confluence in these things, also more confluence with other markets. Look at the Nasdaq. We've gone through all of this in the past. Is the Nasdaq starting to kind of reverse around as well? Is the Nasdaq following through? Well, you know, that's really powerful information. And now you have something even more to lean on, because like if all markets are starting to kind of turn around like that, then you'll likely get more follow through to the upside. Okay? That is one of my favorite confluences. It's not CVD. It's, you know, stops and icebergs are great. That gives deep insight to what's going on by larger players and smaller players getting stopped out. But looking at other markets, it's all like reference or referential. What is this worth compared to that? Johnny, it's the stops and icebergs down here in the subchart. This is MBO bundle is what it's called. I'll show you where it is on the Bookmap marketplace. Okay, so go to bookmap.com, click on the more button here, and then under the marketplace there's add-ons, market data, there's courses, and then there's MBO bundle here. Just click on that, okay, and that'll take you to this. It should take you directly to it, but I think you got to scroll down a little bit. Oh God, it's not in here. Okay, we got to fix that. All right, so then just do a search in here. Do MBO search, and it's right here, MBO bundle. Okay, here I'll put this in the chat for you as well. There you go. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so to put some stops on, all right, so let's do that. You got to open up, you got to have Global Plus to trade from here. Yeah, you can see I had a small loss here, but put in the amount that you want to trade. Okay, you need to toggle here on your trade control panel to if you want to trade from the DOM or the chart or both. I usually just click both, and then down here your brackets. Okay, click that. Now you can see that my take profit is 6 and my stop loss is 4. I don't like that. I don't want that. I want quite a bit more. I'll put in, let's say, 20 ticks for my take profit, and for my stop loss, let's just put in 10 for now, and I'll adjust it along the way. And then you can get involved in here. There you go, market buy, and then looking for the continuation here up into maybe 36.10. And here's my stop loss. I can move it on up. Okay, I can move my take profit on down and front run that high liquidity, etc. Okay, so there's another way to do this as well. Let me flatten this and let me show you. So what you can do as well is, and let's just reset this and put in 1. What you can do is let's say you're in a position, and I didn't have this bracket orders here. Okay, so I'm in long, and I'm unprotected right now. I don't have a stop loss. I don't have a take profit right now. Okay, so how do I put in my stop loss now? All right, so you can put a stop in here immediately if you want. You have to hold down the shift key, and then you right click in this window here for stops. Okay, and there's your stop. Okay, it's a double dash line in here. Okay, now I can also right click above. I don't have to hold shift down, and that will set my take profit or my limit up here. Okay, but these aren't right now, these aren't associated. Okay, if one of these gets hit, it won't, the other one won't. Yeah, my position at that point will be 0. Here, let's see. Okay, but this will remain though. Okay, so there I am. Okay, I got stopped out here, but this remains, right? Well, maybe you don't want that. All right, so let's flatten this again. Let's get involved here yet again. All right, and now I'm unprotected. I'm long. I'm unprotected. Again, I'm just showing this example, and this is not a trade recommendation. So I'm long here. I'm unprotected. You can also use OCO here. Right? Check the box, and now I'm going to place one order, and once it is filled, it will cancel the other order. Okay, so again, I'll have to hold down shift, and then I will right click here. Now it's asking me to set the other one, and it just happened too quickly. Okay, so let's just do it on the upside here. Okay, so I will place my take profit up here. Okay, and I'll just this will be my sell limit order up here, all I have to do is right click. Now I come down here and hold the shift key down, and then I right click again. All right, so here's my limit order here, and then here's my stop double dashed line here. Okay, now once one of these gets hit here, okay, and we'll get stopped out here. Once this gets hit here, it will cancel the other order. All right, so that's how that worked here. There we just got filled. See, it canceled the other order. All right. Oh boy, does that make sense? I can show you guys the video for that, where it is. Go to our YouTube channel again, and then scroll down, and then under here, features and components playlist. Click on that. In fact, hold on a minute. Let me open this in another window. Okay, and I can give you the number. And then scroll down. Okay. Where is it? One-click trading. There it is, down here. Trade control panel, one-click trading, number 43 and number 44 in this playlist, and I'll put this into the chat for you guys. Okay. All right, there you go. There's no way to get the digital. You have to have global or global plus for the iceberg or the MBO package there. Iceberg and stops. Digital plus, it won't work. And it makes sense. The digital plus, like basically, this is why we made them separate in the marketplace here. Let me just show you here. Why it's all separate here and why it's sold separately, etc., is very particular. You need to have rhythmic data, and you need to be looking at CME group futures. So it's very specific. And I think it's noted in here. Yeah, right here. Okay, CME group futures as well as Bookmap, as well as rhythmic data, and you need to have global or global plus is required. Those are the requirements here. So not everyone wants that, or has rhythmic data or trades the futures. So therefore, why would they pay for it more with global or global plus subscription, okay, or digital plus, right? So digital plus, you can't trade futures, so it doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's see. Hold on a minute. Let me go through some questions over in Discord. Guys, come over our Discord channel if you want to continue with the conversation. Lots going on over there. We have a really nice community. Thanks, Pro-K. Yeah, I mean, like, I think so. Like, I think you're right. Like, with the knowledge we just went over, that's enough for a beginner trader. And to put a trading plan together. Look again here, right in here. I mean, you could say the same thing almost. It's not quite the same, right? But see how we come down here, we don't see much selling. Look for those buyers to come in and look for that continuation pattern here, right in here. I just mentioned that before this big move took place. Okay, and now let's look at where it might come back to. Okay, well, the first area I'd look for is probably here, or maybe top of the range here, and then the next level would be here, okay, where it dropped from here. I don't care about this over here. I care about this here. This is where I'm looking for it to retest, okay, and then take some partial profit. Right now, you can see it's a pretty strong move, and it's going right back up into these areas that we were kind of showing or demoing the trading earlier, and right back to our 10 level. And then some. This is a strong move, guys. Looking for the continuation. Okay, look at the buying in here, right? Anyway, we went and just very quickly went through this here. Same ideas here. Now it's not as, this is not as high probability. Why? Getting back to, and I forget who asked the question about how do I put this into an if then trading plan. Well, the ifs in here are less. Okay, we're looking for if then this move, then this move, then this move, you know. So it's multiple ifs, it's multiple thens, and that will lead you to a higher probability setup and trading plan. All right, so and let's suppose you became an expert in that little kind of retest and not much selling here, and you saw buyers come back in these areas here. You become an expert in that, you own this, you own it. All right, so you'll have to do the studying, you'll have to put the pieces together to look for that and become an expert in it. And then, God, you can own even all of this here, right? Depends on the you know. And why would you own all of this? Because look at the structure here on the higher time frame. Okay, back into where it kind of broke out from in here, and this swing here, which happens to be also the most traded level. It came shy of it here, and then moved to the upside. Okay, we found lots of buyers interested in buying. Now they're testing up to where all of these sellers were here, and I'm still looking to see if we can get back above it here, back up into these areas in here. Okay, this is strong buying. Okay, do we need rhythmic from the, yeah, you can BMont, you can get rhythmic through the marketplace right there as well. Okay, thanks for asking. Yes, you can get it through the marketplace there, or you can call up your broker. You can do either or. You know, your broker, ask them for rhythmic data. You want rhythmic data, and ask them how much it costs, and then compare it to the marketplace. For example, maybe you know, they want you know, I don't know, $70, $60, something like that. Well, and that's for the CME group package, like you trade crude oil, gold, bonds, and the stock indexes, then you'll need the whole package, and that'll be $99 from the Bookmap marketplace and rhythmic. Okay, that's what, and rhythmic sets those prices, not us, right? So then it would be cheaper to go with your broker, and you can trade then too. You can trade off of Bookmap and into your trading account. Now let's suppose you have IB or TradeStation. Okay, you'll have to get it from, they don't offer rhythmic data. You'll have to get it from the Bookmap marketplace, and it might be $99 if you want to trade all those instruments, but if you just trade the stock indexes, it'll cost you $39 a month. Okay, and you only get the CME package, not the CME group package. And if you have that and you have Global Plus, you can trade still from Bookmap and route those trades to your TradeStation and Interactive Brokers accounts. Okay, so there's some depends on how you want to do it, basically. Oh yeah, you can BMont, you can call up your broker and ask them for rhythmic data. I can show you guys another thing here on the Bookmap website, or market, I'm sorry, knowledge base. Okay, go here, more button, knowledge base, go here, and then right here, Bookmap connectivity, click there. And then there's all sorts of things in here about connectivity, but I want to show you at the very bottom. We have a list here on the right hand side, and in compatible Bookmap compatible brokers, click on this. Here you can see who has rhythmic. All right, and in fact, let's just this will highlight it all. Okay, here's who has rhythmic. Interactive Brokers TradeStation, like we just went through that scenario. They don't have it, but you can get it from the Bookmap marketplace and route your trades. Okay, to these brokers. Stage 5 has it, Edge Clear has it, Canon Trading has it, Discount Trading has it, Amp Futures has it, and Optimus Futures. So if these are your brokers, you can call them up and say, I want to use Rhythmic data, and you can get connected. Okay. All right. All right, so let's see what's unfolded here. You can see this. I mean, guys, like, I don't know about if this pattern is going to continue or not. I mean, we do see strong buying in here, but we're coming back up into where we found that strong selling. So we need to see, quite a few buyers come right back in to raise it back above this kind of 16 level up here, 17 level here. Okay, but that's a possible scenario here. But look at this pattern in here now. Okay, on this time frame. Okay, what does it look like? It's your reverse or inverse head and shoulders here. Kind of. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And look at the flow and the change here on this time frame. Now we're zoomed out until about 8:30 or so. You can zoom out the whole day if you want. It doesn't look like a head and shoulders now, but let's just look at the head and shoulders here. Okay, so on the higher time frame in the order flow, we'll get rid of all of these, clear the drawings. And I want to show you, look at all the strong selling in here. Strong, strong, strong. Order flow shift and change. And we saw it, and we saw it down here. And we saw a beautiful pattern in here. Okay, and we didn't know it was going to do this. Okay, but we did mention that it might do this, and come up and fill the gap here. We talked all about that on the 15-minute chart here. So you look for the order flow to support it. So we saw our transition here, and now strong buying, strong buying, strong buying, strong buying. Okay, a shift here, and now we're looking at the structure, and we're looking at the order flow shift in that structure. Okay, now the mechanics of this, we talked about micro mechanics or market mechanics in here. This is the mechanics of the higher time frame. There's no question about it. And you could zoom out to a monthly chart and still look at the mechanics basically. Okay, you can look at the most binary levels in here on the mechanics on up into these time frames. All right, so or let's suppose let's suppose you didn't see this in your profile. Well, and you're looking for that shift in the order flow down here. Okay, well, maybe you're looking at something like a distribution or accumulation pattern in here. And you look at like other trading methods like Wyckoff, and starting to understand the shift in the order flow in here. Okay, whatever it is, if it's Wyckoff, if it's Stadelmeyer, whomever it might be, it really boils down to the same things in market mechanics and order flow. All right, so you have to understand how these markets operate and how they work, and that's where you're going to find out through this page here, okay, or this series here, our courses, and then we apply it in the live market here. All right, guys. So enough diatribe here. Let me jump back into the questions here. hold on a minute here. I'll have to really zoom in. No, El Viejo. Viejon. I did not add in spot gamma in here. Okay, in options. For that, you should probably reach out to Doug and speak with Doug about that. He's on our Discord channel. And we can point you to some webinars as well in the Pro Trader webinar series. Look at that. Doug's gone over many different strategies in there. Great stuff. Oh, you're welcome, Seder. We'd like to learn if there are ways to get the indicator. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the digital plus. Okay, I think I'm caught up on all the questions in YouTube and in Discord. Let's see here. Yeah, we can take a look at Bitcoin as well. You know, every market trades a little differently, but the fundamentals are the same. It's just they have to be, unless it's a different kind of market type. You know, maybe it's pro rata. You know, then it's not first in, first out, or something like that. The bonds, if you're looking at the bonds, they're like partially like pro rata, you know, different market types. It's not first in, first out. But basically, we'll just deal with what we have in front of us here, and the market mechanics in here. Very, very simple stuff, and it's all the same. So we're going to look at Bitcoin here, and we're going to go through the same ideas here, that we can see that okay, we had some sellers down here, this bottom edge. We have no buyers up here. Okay, this is actually in this time frame, in this look right here, I would be looking for sellers to try to drive it down into 08 and a half here. Okay, they're on the bid or on the offer up here, and I see them on the bid here though. I don't like that. Okay, I don't want to see activity on the bidding up in these areas here, and we float back up to the top. Now this is where we're looking at it, and it's like if we have exhaustion up here, there's no buyers up here, and we start to float back down and get some sellers maybe around 11, I'd be looking for the move down. Okay, if we don't, okay, and we see more buying up here. Now I don't see, not like our previous example on the higher time frame, we had more buying like up here. Okay, I don't see much up here. If we don't get a lot of buyers up here, then it's not likely to be a move and a stop run to the upside. Okay, so here's our exhaustion, here's our retest, back down here, but I'm still looking for sellers here to break the bottom edge here, and we don't get it. Now we're getting some buyers coming back in. See the buyers coming in here, and let's take a look. Exhaustion again. No one traded up here, nobody. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of selling. Okay, let's see if we get a little bit more, Okay, now we have our order flow shift in here. Okay, potential move now for the upside, and all of these sellers are going to get stopped out. Okay, potentially. Okay, so I don't like it still that we didn't get previous buying in here. So that if statement in here, one of the ifs we're looking for is more buying up here and then a retest back up here. Okay, now here's our order flow event though. Look at the in here right underneath it at 11 and a quarter, 137. A large player just came in, a large lot tracker, 100 lot likely just came right in right there, and we found buyers. Okay, the if part is, well, we didn't have buyers previously. Okay, if we get enough though, like these sellers, we should get a stop run up into 12 and 13. Okay, and let's look for it, and there's our stop run up into 12 and a half. Okay, and they're getting filled here. They're on the bid still. Okay, now the if part here, we didn't have all of the ifs, but it's still played out. Okay? It's up to you. Like for me, I want as many ifs as I can. I want as much confirmation as I can to make it a higher probability move. See how we retest back up here, and now we're getting some sellers here. So we can have sellers drop it right back down now to 10.5 very, very easily. Okay, it didn't. Okay, we came back up here and we got more buyers back up here, like where we previously bought, where they previously bought, and that's where we get the move higher. Okay, so this part of the if statement is pretty important, is to have these buyers back up here, retest and have buyers again for that break. All right, that will add to a higher probability. Now, I don't think this is a good example, as good an example as the previous one. Yeah, this is still the ES here. Sorry, we'll get to it, Ben. But I just wanted to go through that, and I wanted to talk about the different markets in here. And basically the market mechanics is what we're talking about, and that they are the same for all of these different markets. So now let's jump over to Bitcoin, and we'll look at Bitcoin futures here. Okay, and let's zoom out. Let's take a look. Okay, I've got the liquidation indicator in here that shows liquidations in the market, which I love this indicator. So anyway, here's what happened. We had liquidation, massive liquidation move to it's like a stop run, but it's even worse. People are the exchange is actually closing their positions and giving them a margin call instead of a stop run. So it's worse. So we see a big liquidation event down into high liquidity, and yeah, it came all the way back down to about here. Okay, it never came back down to this 18,800, and then we got a retracement back up. Okay, so this is what I see so far since, you know, before 5 a.m., 4:30. It's been really pretty back and forth in here. All right, I don't know. I've seen this in Bitcoin so many times over. You see it in all markets, but here's what I want to show. Here's our breakout, right? Strong buying, and this is our pivot level here. Okay, and then also down here, you can look at maybe point of control or the bottom of the range here. Okay, and then here's the liquidation event here. Okay, liquidation event all the way down basically, so liquidation is the upside, kind of exhausts out, comes back down, retests into this level here, and then sellers trade through it. Okay, and then what does it do? It comes right back up into the middle of the range again. Okay, so that's what I see in here. Ben, I don't know how much that helps. Oh yeah, order flow on the higher time frame is exactly the same. Let me demo that. Daily chart. Consolidation range, breakout and continuation down. Okay, down below these previous buyers in here. See how this turns into like a kind of a, it's a little wonky in here, but like see how this area here, we come back and retest it a couple times here. Okay, same stuff we were just going through. And then look at this event here. Now so move to the downside, it comes right back up, and then it trades back up and through here, and we finding these buying wicks in here, buying pressure. Okay, not able to make a higher high yet. Okay, here's our move below the level here, and then strong buying coming in. It's this strong buying coming in here on this daily chart. This was on what day? Go back and look on July 15th, and that might give some insight. Okay, pretty strong day, and then it moved back up into these top of these ranges here, and we got our breakout, and then here's our breakout, and look at the retest. See how the retest comes back to the tops of these ranges here, or these wicks up here. Okay, it could have come back a little bit further, could have come back down to here or even here. Okay, instead it was strong buying, so that usually on strong buying the pullback is more shallow and it comes back to about the top of the ranges and we get the continuation move. All right, and then this could also be your head and shoulders pattern in here, shoulder, head, shoulder, right? And then starting to understand the order flow events in here. All right, now the problem on the daily chart is look at how much transparency we have into what's going on here. All we have is open, high, low, close of the day and volume in the bottom here. That's not much. Trying to really ascertain what's going on in here is rather difficult. Okay, but it is order flow in essence. Okay, it's all order flow, the whole thing, the monthly chart, down to the most binary level in here. Okay, ES is really good at showing that. If we really zoom in here, okay, the most binary level of trades taking place, then lifting the offer, hitting the bid in here. There, price went up one tick. Okay, there's buyers here. If there's enough buyers to trade into and through the 71 liquidity there, it's going to go to the next level, 46. Here, let me show you something. Maybe this will help as well. Okay, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we'll configure this column and do an aggregate book here. Okay. All right, so we had 71 here. We have 46 at the next level. All right. So my question to you guys is, what do you think? Like, how many transactions must take place in this time frame right now, in this current market condition here that we're looking at, to trade up to 36.15? Okay, how much needs to trade to get up there? It's not a trick question. Okay, Matt, thanks. Come on, guys. Love to get your input here. McLocal, the question again is like, so they're lifting the offer in here, but how much is necessary to get up to? How much must trade in this current snapshot of the market? How much must trade to get up to 36.15? This is really simple stuff. It's really simple. I mean, it kind of it saddens me that the education out there for market or in trading never covers this kind of stuff. Never. And this is so simple and straightforward. And the only reason that a lot of this stuff is confusing because no one covers the market mechanics. No one covers understanding what makes the market actually move. And instead they're learning an engulfing pattern, which is an order flow pattern. But regardless, like, it's like, it's so visual. Oh, okay, there's an engulfing pattern, I should buy. That's it. That's as far as it goes. And it's just, I think it, and it's popular because it's understandable, but this is really important and understand like what it takes just to get price to come up to here. How much must trade? Okay. All right, so let's see. A few. Thanks, Carl. That was very helpful. You have not lost your sense of humor, that's for sure. Appreciate it. Let's see, 112, no. 107, no. 71 plus 46, yeah, plus 1. Exactly. That is true. So I've got the aggregate book over here. So we actually need not 117. Well, 117 will make the best offer come up here. But to trade to 36.15, 118 will have to trade. All right. We have to find 118 of volume. It could be one trader. It could be 118 traders. Okay, doesn't matter. How are you guys getting 107? Well, this should be the same, right? I mean, what's no, that should be 117, right? 46 plus 71, right? Yeah. Okay, Ben. You're laughing. All right. There we go. All right, you guys, some of you guys got it here. Yep. Yeah. So, well, and this is kind of important too, because you'll see it come back. Let's just go forward. Let's see what happens here. Nothing. We never got. Okay, finally we got up here, but everything changed in the order book at that time. So the example is kind of a moot point. But so 117 would actually make the best bid or best offer pop up to our 15 level, but it would not. It wouldn't trade. It would just be the best offer at that time. All right. So anyway. All right, well, we're getting our continuation, guys. All right, so what was our next level, right? It was 116, which, well, that actually traded. Let's go back to our higher time frame. We went through these scenarios when we first started the webinar. Okay, we're looking for sellers on the daily. On the hourly, we saw a strong hourly candle to the downside, and we saw this kind of like, I don't know, at that point it was like a little doji or something, and then we went, and then in the 15-minute chart, well, maybe we're going to get some retracements back up into the gap fill, up into these areas here, and then we went through the scenarios of what might that look like, and then we looked at the order flow. Okay, so I'm recapping right now, and we went through a whole trading plan of if-then statements, multiple if-thens, not just one, to look for something higher probability, and we got it. We got it here. All right, and then we're looking for that continuation. And then we didn't know that was going to turn out to be this big move. There's so many different ways to get involved in this multiple times, though. Using the same tactics. We talked about pullback trades as well. And then continuation trades and movements to the upside. And then where it might go as well. Okay, now the where in this case was based on, well, we can look at the structure in here as well. Maybe we'll come back up to 27 and 30 here. But this is a really, really good level. I would say first would be this one here. Looks really good because that's where the sellers came in, or even here at 16 where the sellers really, really came in and moved it. And then also up into these levels here. 25 also looks really good because this is where sellers came in, and we have liquidity here, and a beautiful stop run above 30 if we can get back up there. So let's take a look here. Higher time frame. The gap fill would be up here at 25. All right, that was the last candle from yesterday. All right, guys, if you like this education, please subscribe to our YouTube channel here, and give us a like. This is very helpful for us. We think it's high quality education we're delivering for you guys, and we want to continue doing that. And something that, like we mentioned earlier, this is not covered by others. and it's kind of sad they don't cover it. That's why again and again I really encourage you to come back here and watch our educational course and go through parts 1 and 2 at least, parts 1 and 2. That will be really helpful. And then you'll be able to put some of these pieces together and understand order flow at a much higher level. And then you'll be able to extrapolate that out into bigger structures, okay, as we did during this webinar, okay, and understand where price might be going and why, covering the why. And then we went through a trading plan and started to outline that trading plan for a beginner, and just start with one idea, one setup, one trading plan, and then become an expert in it. Okay, and when it appears, you got to take it. Okay, but you have to do your due diligence. You have to go through that it is high probability for you, and you know how to manage it. Okay, so when it does show, you take it. Oh, thanks, James. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your comments, guys. So we'll do more and more of this training. In fact, due to the questions you're asking in here, I want to do now like maybe some in the afternoon. We'll do some webinar events to develop a trading plan. Now that started all from let's see, who was it here that asked about the trading plan and the if-thens? Yeah, the demo trader asked about that. Okay, so keep the questions coming, guys, and like I said, we need the feedback from you, and that helps us develop our education out in the directions that you find most helpful. All right, thanks everybody for coming. Tomorrow is JTrader. We will I'll come in first for the first 15 minutes or so and cover the general market, and then we'll turn it over to JTrader and we'll be going through some stocks. All right, thanks again, guys. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks for coming.